with Coach Princess.
Oh mama, you're welcome to another beautiful time with your amazing children's coach, Princess Enyinna-Okoro from Kids Igbo Academy. Ebe anyị na-akụziri ụmụaka asụsụ Igbo in a fun, interesting and engaging manner na-eme ka asụsụ Igbo na-atọ ụtọ ịmụta. In today's episode, we're bringing you another load of goodness, of learning new vocabulary, of listening to an interesting story, of listening to Igbo, reading in Igbo, and also teaching you moral lessons. I know you're up for it, right? Yay! Before we start talking about the story proper and going into all of our keywords and all of that, have you done those things we like? Have you liked this video? Have you shared? Have you subscribed? Have you done all of these things? When you like this video, you also help the algorithm suggest our video to more people. So do it right now. I say so. I trust that you have done it. Ngwa, kanyi bido with our keywords. Keyword number 1 is the word umurenne. Say with me, umurenne, or some people call it ikunne sometimes, and it simply means your maternal home. Your maternal home, like your mom's village, where your mommy was from before she got married to your dad. That's what we call umurenne. All right? Now, I want to use it in a sentence. I can say, Anyị gara n'umurenne anyị. I'll say it again. Anyị gara n'umurenne anyị. We went to our maternal home. Anyị gara n'umurenne anyị. Good. Now, that means we went to our maternal home, okay? Let's go to keyword number 2. The second keyword will be wuru-wuru. Say with me, wuru-wuru. And wuru-wuru is the word that means around. I know it sounds like a mouthful, but it's very easy to say. Wuru-wuru. And if I want to use it in a sentence, I can say something like this. Elere m anya wuru-wuru, mana ahụghị m ya. Let me say it again. Elere m anya wuru-wuru, mana ahụghị m ya. It simply means I looked all around and I didn't see her, or I didn't see him. Elere m anya wuru-wuru, mana ahụghị m ya. All right? Good job. Now let's go to the third keyword. Keyword number 3 is the word mkpebi. Again, mkpebi. Mkpebi is the word that means decision. Like I have made a decision. Mkpebi. Now let me use it in a sentence. My sentence is ndị isi mere mkpebi na ha ga-arụzi ụzọ. I'll say it again. Ndị isi mere mkpebi na ha ga-arụzi ụzọ. It simply means the leaders made a decision that they will fix the road. You see, that's what it means when somebody makes an mkpebi or mere mkpebi. He or she made a decision. Okay, and now let's look at the final keyword for this particular video is onye nnọchite anya. Say with me, onye nnọchite anya. That means a representative. And onye nnọchite anya is someone that represents a larger group or a larger body of people. For example, my sentence would be, Chioma bụ onye nnọchite anya anyị. I'll say it again. Chioma bụ onye nnọchite anya anyị. It means that Chioma is our representative. Maybe we're having a quiz or we have a competition or something that that we need someone to represent us at, and then we chose Chioma. and they're asking, who is your representative? I say, oh, Chioma bụ onye nnọchite anya anyị. Yes. I hope you're saying all these things with me. You have to learn to say everything I'm saying. N'asụsụ Igbo. Do everything possible to learn it, to say it with me, because that's how your tongue gets familiar with the Igbo accent and Igbo pronunciation. That's it. Well done. Okay. Now let's get into the story proper. The story is going to be read in Asusu Igbo but translated in Asusu Bekee, so that it's easy for some of us that are not yet so good at Asusu Igbo to actually understand what is being said and follow us. Please remember, listen attentively, because you're going to tell me what you learned. It's not like what you do sometimes, you won't tell me. You're telling me what you learned today, and I'm going to see it in this comment section. Now, let's start reading the story. Ọtụtụ afọ gara aga n'obodo ụmụ anụmanụ, ọdụm bụ eze ụmụ anụmanụ zigara ewu onye mgbasa ozi ka ọ gaa gburugburu n'obodo wee zisara ụmụ anụmanụ niile ozi dị mkpa. Ewu bụ onye ozi gara izisa ozi wee kwuo ya otu a: mmee mmee, ụmụ anụmanụ niile, achọrọ m ịgwa unu na unu kwesịrị ịgbakọta n'obi eze n'ụbọchị abụọ na-abịa n'elekere 10 nke ụtụtụ. Mmee. Ewu mere ihe a n'obodo niile. O mere ka anụmanụ niile nọ n'obodo ahụ nụ ozi o ziri. N'ụbọchị nzukọ ahụ, ọkụkọ chetara na mberede na o kwesịrị ịga n'umure nne ya maka ihe dị mkpa. Ọ matara na ọ gaghị enwe ike ịga nzukọ ahụ. O cheketara ihe ọ ga-eme. O wee kpebie na ya ga-aga ahụ mbe ka mbe nye eze ọdụm ihe ngọpụ ya. Mgbe ọkụkọ garuru na be mbe, ọ gwara mbe wee sị ya: agaghị m anọ na nzukọ taa, mana achọrọ m ka ị ziga eze ozi. Gwa ya sị, m kwenyere na mkpebi ọbụla ha ga-eme mgbe m na-anọghị. Ihe ọbụla ụmụ anụmanụ ga-ahọrọ, m na-akwado ya. Mbe kwetara sị ya, oke, ọ bụrụ otu ahụ, nsogbu adịrọ, aga m ezi ozi gị zigara eze ọdụm. Mgbe ụmụ anụmanụ gbakọtara n'obi eze n'ụbọchị nzukọ ahụ, a nọ na-eche ka nzukọ ahụ bido. Eze ọdụm wee bilie wee kọwara ha ihe mere eji nwee nzukọ n'ụbọchị ahụ. O kwuru na ọ chọpụtala na ụmụ mmadụ na-achụ nta ha mgbe niile. Eze kwuru na ha na-achọ otu anụmanụ nke ga-ewepụta onwe ya iji chụọrọ ụmụ mmadụ àjà, nke mere na ndị dinta agaghị achụgharị anụmanụ ndị ọzọ. Anụmanụ ọbụla họpụtara onwe ya ga-eji obi ya ghara onwe ya nye ndị dinta. N'otu n'otu, ụmụ anụmanụ niile jụrụ inye onwe ha. Ọ dịghị onye chọrọ ka ejiri ya chụọ àjà. Iwe bidoro iwe eze ka ọ hụrụ na ọ dịghị onye kwetara inye onwe ya. Eze ọdụm kwadoro ịhọrọ anụmanụ ọbụla na mberede. Ka ọ na-achọ ịtụ otu anụmanụ aka, mbe biliri ọtọ wee sị, eze, ị ga-adị o. Ekwenyere m na anyị enweelarị onye dị njikere inye onwe ya. Ihe o kwuru juru eze anya. Eze wee jụọ ya sị, onye bụ anụmanụ a? Mbe zara ya sị, ọ bụ ọkụkọ. Eze ọdụm legharịrị anya wee sị, mana ọkụkọ anọghị ebe a. Eleezi ebe ọ nọ? Mbe kọwara ya wee sị ya, ọkụkọ gara n'umure nne ya taa, mana tupu ọ pụọ, ọ bịakwutere m wee gwa m na ya kwenyere na mkpebi ọbụla anyị ga-eme taa. Obi tọrọ eze ọdụm ụtọ. Ọ gwara nkịta, nke bụ onye nche, ka ọ gaa kpụrụ ọkụkọ ahụ n'umure nne ya. Eze wee dee ya dịka iwu na ọkụkọ ga-abụ anụ a ga-eji chụọrọ ụmụ mmadụ àjà. Eze ọdụm haziri nzukọ n'etiti ndị dinta na ụmụ anụmanụ. O kwuru na nkịta ga-abụ onye nnọchite anya ga-enyefe ọkụkọ ahụ n'aka ndị dinta. Site n'ụbọchị ahụ, ụmụ mmadụ malitere igbu na iri ọkụkọ dịka nri. Now, let me give you a brief recap in asụsụ Bekee. The story says that a long time ago, the king of the animals in the animal kingdom, who happened to be the lion, he sent the town crier, the messenger of their community, who happens to be the goat, to go around the community and make an announcement. And then the goat went out and he began to announce. And he announced it like this: meh, meh, ụmụ anụmanụ niile gekwanụ ntị o. Eze ọdụm chọrọ ka onye ọbụla gbakọọ n'obi eze n'ụbọchị abụọ na-abịa n'elekere iri, which means that the king of the jungle, which happens to be the lion, is calling all of you to come around in 2 days' time for a meeting in his palace at 10 a.m. He did this and he said it round the entire community such that every animal heard it. On the day of the meeting, the chicken suddenly remembered that, he couldn't make that meeting. He had to be at his maternal home for something very important. And then he thought about what to do. When he now realized that he can go to see the tortoise so that tortoise can pass on his excuse to the king at the meeting. He went to the house of the tortoise. And you know what he told the tortoise? He told the tortoise, I'm not available to attend today's meeting. I'm going to my maternal home. However, I want you to tell the king that whatever you people decide on, whatever agreement you people make in the palace today, I agree to it. I agree to whatever decisions you people make in the palace today. And tortoise said, really? He said, yes. He said, okay, I'm going to pass your message across to the king. And tortoise went for the meeting. When they got to the meeting and the meeting began, the king told everyone, all the animals that gathered, the reason why we called you here today is to let you know that we are not happy about the way the hunters, the way human beings are hunting us down. They keep hunting us down and we're not happy about it. We have now called this meeting for one animal to voluntarily offer himself as a sacrifice to the humans so that the humans stop killing the rest of us. And then he wanted a volunteer that will come up freely of their own free will, and no animal agreed to volunteer. Everybody didn't want to be the sacrificial lamb. And the king began to get angry. Like, what's happening? Why would somebody volunteer? He was already angry and was about to just point at any random animal when the tortoise stood up and said, "Oh king, live forever. I believe we already have someone that has volunteered to be the sacrificial lamb." And the king was like, really? What animal is that? And he said, the chicken, of course. The chicken? Oh, the chicken is not here. Where is the chicken? Oh, he's not here. Yes, oh king, he's not here. He went to his maternal home. But before he went to his maternal home, he came to my house and he told me that he agrees with whatever decision we make in today's meeting. And that was how the tortoise was like, he had told the king everything, and the king was now happy that eventually now they have a volunteer. And you know what he did? He signed it into the law to say that going forward, the chicken has become the sacrificial animal that will be sacrificed to the humans so that the humans can just feast on the chicken and leave other animals. And then he appointed the dog to go and, because the dog was the security man of the community, to go and bring the chicken from his maternal home. And when he went, he captured the chicken from the maternal home, and the king now made a meeting, he fixed a meeting between human beings and the animals, and he sent dog to be the representative of the animals, and dog was the one that handed over the chicken to the hunters. And from that day onward, that was how human beings began to kill and eat chicken for food. Now, do you see the story? Tell me what you learned. There in the comment section. Let me know what you have learned in the comments right away. I want to see it, okay? All right, I believe you have learned something. Now, let me share a couple of lessons. You know I always get to share, right? Yeah, it doesn't even negate your own sharing. Please still write yours. I want to read it, okay? Now, the lesson that I will share with you today, number 1, words are powerful. Do not think that words are ordinary. They are not ordinary words. The chicken's simple words of agreeing to whatever decision was made had a huge impact. I bet you that the chicken did not know that they were looking for an animal that would be sacrificed. He just felt maybe they're calling us to make a contribution, maybe we're supposed to donate some money, maybe we're supposed to go work on somebody's farm. He just thought of anything else. He didn't know the exact magnitude of what was ahead of him. So he gave his word, and when you give your word, you have given permission. So you have to realize that words are powerful, they are not ordinary. What are you saying today? If everything you've ever said happens, will you be happy about them? Have you been saying the right kind of things? You have to understand that your words can influence situations. Your words can influence you. Your words can even influence other people. So you need to be mindful of your words. Do you understand? Sometimes you've said to your friend, just in passing, I'm not going to talk to this girl again. I'm not going to talk to this girl again, or I won't talk to this boy again. And somehow, if you are observant, you realize that maybe 2 or 3 of your friends also stopped talking to that boy. You didn't tell them to stop talking to the boy or the girl, but because you said it, they get influenced by your words. So you have to be intentional. What are you saying to your brother, your sister? Do you use insulting words on them? Do you tell them to shut up, to get out, that they are goats? Can you call your brother a goat or a foolish person, or all those kind of words? Don't use them. From today, begin to remove them from your mouth. Okay? Because words are powerful. Do you understand? Good job. Good job. Now, the second lesson. Ihe mmụta nke abụọ. Think before you speak. Chee echiche tupu ị na-ekwu okwu. Think about what you want to say. Think about everything you have to say. The chicken agreed to something without even thinking carefully. And that was what led to him being sacrificed as the chosen animal of sacrifice. Now, what this will teach you as a child is the importance of thinking through your words and thinking through your decisions before agreeing to anything. Because when you make hasty choices or you say hasty words, they can have a lasting consequence. Do you see? Now, this issue of thinking before you speak, it goes around and it revolves around different aspects of life. Let's talk about the aspect that has to do with your communication with people. How do you talk to elders? How many of you remember to use ma and sir each time you talk to an elderly woman or an elderly man? Whether your parents, whether other adults around you, do you use ma and sir often? Good morning, ma. Otutu mama. Ehihie ọma sa. Unu ana-ekwu ya. Ma. Mba sa. Unu ana-esi otu ahụ ekwu okwu. You have to talk in a respectful manner. Think about what you're saying. How will this thing I'm saying sound to this person? Does it sound polite? Does it sound kind? Does it sound helpful? When you're making requests of your friends, or maybe even your parents or adults around you, do you remember your magic words? Your please, biko, thank you, dalo. Do you say, oh, ndo, sorry, inekuya? You have to use it. Biko, nyalumaka wete efera. You say it. Biko, achoromi rinri. You want to eat, or you must put the biko. It's a good way to talk. It makes you a polite child. Okay? You can say, when you want to correct an elder, you can do it in a nice way. Maybe your teacher has mispronounced the word. Some teacher would be like, hey, procrastinate. Why is he saying procrastinate? It's procrastinated. It's procrastinated. That comes off as rude. Why not say, excuse me, sir, or excuse me, ma, did you mean to say procrastinated? That comes out better. And then your teacher or whoever the adult is can say, oh yes, that's what I meant, that's what I meant, procrastinated. There is a way to talk. Think about how to speak before you say it. Always think about what you're saying. Ask yourself, this what I'm about to say, am I saying it well? Am I saying it at the right time? Is this even the best time to say this kind of thing? Am I in the best position to say it? Or is this something my parents are supposed to be the ones saying? Some of you say the thing that your parents are the ones to say. Some things you say are not in your place. They are for your parents to handle. So speak to them, let them handle it. Do you understand? So always learn to think before you speak. That's the lesson. All right, good job. Ihe mmụta nke atọ anyị ga-amụta taa bụ gịnị? Kpachara anya gị, be careful. Be careful who you trust. Onye ka ị na-atụkwasị obi? Who do you trust? The chicken told the tortoise something, yes. But the tortoise carried that chicken's message without even question and without considering the chicken. So he took that message and he said it to the king. Maybe he was trying to save his own life so that the lion doesn't point at him to be a sacrificial animal. But it just showed us that the tortoise did not have the best interest of the chicken at heart, because the chicken would not have known that they are looking for who to be sacrificed before he volunteered himself. If he knew that was what they were going to talk about in the meeting, he wouldn't have said he agreed. So you find out that who you trust matters a lot. Not everyone has your best interest at heart. And in this scenario, we see that the tortoise didn't have the best interest of the chicken at heart. I know he was just doing what the chicken told him to do. But if that chicken was his own child, or his own brother, or his own sister, or someone he really loved dearly, will he still have delivered that kind of message? So before you think of trusting someone, be sure that this is a trusted person. Your parents, your coaches, your teachers, people your parents have told you can talk to. All right? And then that person has to have shown you over time that they are actually reliable and worthy for you to trust them. Is that okay? Good job. The next lesson we're going to learn is do not enter any agreement hastily. And that brings us to the title of today's video. The chicken that agreed before he knew, before he understood. The chicken agreed too hastily. He didn't know what the meeting was about. Like I said earlier, maybe he thought it was about contributions or paying a condolence visit to someone or just something else. He never thought that the meeting would have been about sacrificing somebody to humans. So before you agree to anything, I want you to get all your facts. Find out properly. Do your research. Find out every necessary detail about any matter that you have to be a part of. And be sure it is something that you are really able to do. Count the cost. Count the cost before you agree, so that you're not starting up something that you cannot finish. Sometimes when people come and tell you, promise me that this thing I'm about to tell you, promise me you will give it to me. Refuse to promise. I don't promise. How can I promise you what I don't know? I want to tell you something. Promise me you will give it to me, or promise me you will not shout. I'm not going to promise you that, because I don't even know what it is that you want to say. What if I can't give it to you? So don't promise your friend or anybody anything when you're not yet certain. And sometimes before you start to promise, get all your facts, get counseling, let people talk to you, your parents, sit with them, discuss it with them, let them advise you before you get into anything. So you're not starting something you cannot finish. There's this something in the Bible where God was saying something like, don't be like a person that wants to build his house but never sat down to count the cost. Before you build a house and decide, I want to build this house, have you sat down to weigh the pros and the cons? Do I have the money? Do I have the resources? Do I have the workmanship, people that will work here to build this house? Can I buy the cement? Can I buy the sand? Can I get the water and everything that is necessary to build a house? You will first sit down and count the cost and be sure it is something that you're able to do before you start. That is what I want you to learn. All right? Learn to find out before you agree, before you agree to anything. Because sometimes when you agree too hastily, you've not thought it through. So spend time thinking and spend time getting counsel. All right? Did you learn something? I know you did. Clap for yourself and clap for me too for bringing you this super episode. I learned something too, just like you did. I know you learned something. I also learned something. I want you to take these things and begin to practice them. If you want us to teach you Igbo in a simple way, breaking it down from very simple to complex topics, helping your Igbo skills to improve. Sometimes you want to speak, but you don't know how to construct your sentence. You just know one part of the sentence. The remaining 5 words or 6 you don't know. Come into class. We're going to help you. If you're looking at how to begin to practice more consistently, come into class. We're going to help you. If you don't even know you need help with resources that will keep you focused and grounded, come into class. We have the resources, we have the consistency, we have the system, we have the structure that helps guide you. Whether you're a child, whether you're an adult, onye ọbụla chọrọ ịmụta asụsụ Igbo, anyị ga-anabata gị. Batala na class anyị na anyị ga-anabata gị. Echefukwala. Make a practice of speaking Igbo. These keywords you have learned today, find opportunities to use them in the course of the week. That is how your Igbo gets better. Keep speaking Igbo. It's in the speaking that you get better. It is practice that makes better, not knowing. Knowing is one thing, but practicing is what makes you better. Find opportunities every day to speak Asusu Igbo. That is what is going to sharpen your Igbo speaking skills. Don't forget, I remain your one and only children's coach, Princess Enyinna-Okoro. Na Nsukwu Igbo. Maka na gịnị? Igbo amaka. Godi.
Learn with Coach Princess.